just wait till I catch you in the dark corner. You will get the damn good beating. I spikes are so high, you'll prick yourself and I end up crying.
Hey friends, so I am back with another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I cut my hair. So first things first, I'm just going to talk to you guys about how I cut my hair and walk you through it before I actually cut it, because I cannot cut and talk at the same time. If you don't want to hear me talk you through it, then I will have a timestamp in the description box below so you can just skip straight to the action. And of course, I have to throw a disclaimer out there. I am not a professional hairstylist, believe it or not. I'm not going to be showing you guys the correct or proper way to cut your hair. I'm just going to be showing you guys the way I cut mine. For those of you who don't know, my mom is usually the one who cuts my hair, and she is a professional hairstylist. But since I don't live near her, sometimes she can't cut my hair for extended periods of time, and I am impatient and I don't like my hair long, so sometimes I cut it myself. Honestly, it looks exactly the same whether my mom cuts it or I cut it, and that's mainly because I have messy curly hair and you would never even be able to tell if it was a clean cut or not. Which leads me into my second disclaimer, and that is, if you have straight hair or you straighten your hair on a regular basis, I do not recommend cutting your hair yourself. Just because if you happen to cut it uneven, it's going to be really noticeable, whereas if you have curly or wavy hair, you're probably never going to be able to tell. And so with that said, I'm just going to walk you guys through how I like to cut my hair. And for those of you who don't want to cut your hair yourself, but you do like my hair cut, I always get a lot of questions asking what this cut is called. And for the most part, I'm pretty sure it's just a blunt bob. There are no layers, except I do personally cut the bottom layer of my hair a little shorter than the rest, but oh, and if you're wondering what all the background noise is, it's pretty much a hurricane outside, so. So the first thing that I'm going to do is grab 2 small rubber hair ties and put my hair in pigtails. Now there is one thing that's important to note when you put your hair into your pigtails, and that is the placement of the pigtails, because it will affect the cut of your hair. If you tie your pigtails closer to the front of your face, then the front layer of your hair is going to be shorter than the back layer of your hair. If you tie your pigtails closer to the back of your head, then you'll get more of an A-line cut, and the back of your hair will be shorter than the front. And if you put your pigtails in the middle, you'll get more of an even cut all around. I like to tie my pigtails closer to the back of my head so that I get more of an A-line cut. And I like to cut my hair while it is dry and completely styled so that I can see exactly what I'm doing. If you cut it while it's wet, you might find that you cut it too short once it's dry. So once I have my hair in the pigtail, I just adjust the rubber band to whatever length I want to cut it to, and you're just going to be cutting just below that. So if this is the length that I wanted to cut my hair to, I would just be cutting a little bit below that rubber band. Don't cut too close, because if you do, it'll fall out while you're cutting. It'll be a hot mess. And definitely make sure that the rubber bands are in the same position on both sides, otherwise you'll get a wonky cut. So once I snip that pigtail off, then I'm just going to go ahead and remove my hair ties. At this point, I'll just go ahead and clean up any pieces that I want to clean up, snip any pieces that are longer than the rest. Now you could stop there, but there's one other thing that I like to cut when I do my hair. The bottom layer of my hair tends to be straight compared to the rest of my curly hair, so usually it lays a little bit longer than the rest of my hair, and I absolutely hate that. So I will just clip the top layer of my hair up, and then I'll just go through and cut the bottom layer of my hair a little bit shorter than the rest. And again, it doesn't really matter if you happen to cut it a little bit uneven, because 1, my hair is curly, nobody's really gonna be able to tell, and 2, it's the under layer of my hair, nobody's gonna be able to tell. After that's done, I will usually go ahead and trim my bangs as well, and I do that by literally just taking them and snipping them straight across. And that is how I cut my hair, and so I'm just gonna get to it. much it. That is how I cut my hair. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this and maybe found it a little bit helpful. If you have any questions for me about how I cut my hair or about my hair in general, then feel free to comment it down below. And that's about it, so till next time, stay cozy. Bye.